The architecture itself is very interesting. I think it's kind of one of a kind. A lot of neon lights, alleyways, a lot of like crooks and nannies where you can kind of find your own little world and little spot. And I think that, I haven't exactly seen the full game, but I saw a lot of the rendering, and a lot of the areas are like exactly like it. So I remember seeing some like North Point, like IFC, in Central, and it was really shocking to me because I've seen other cities on video games, and I'm not as familiar with those cities as I am with Hong Kong, and I think they really nailed it with that. And I think with an American audience playing a Chinese, like set in the Chinese kind of culture, I guess you get to emerge into the game easier because it's kind of a little foreign, and everything's kind of new. So it's like a video game, but it's actually the real thing. So it was good for me.
What do you think, Will?
About the game?
It's amazing, right?
I mean, the game is truly amazing as far as, spent a couple years making the game, and I mean, for me, the most satisfying part was being able to work with people like Edison. And being an Asian actor, you rarely are afforded the opportunities to say more than 5 lines in the course of an entire movie. So when they sent the script, which was a couple hundred pages, I think, of dialogue at the time, for me it was exciting because I got to actually, when they encouraged it, to actually play it as if we're shooting a movie. So I felt like I got to shoot a movie for 2 years and really get into the characters, and the directors, Justin, helped define the performances, which I think show in the film or the game.
And then, is there a type of style that you both, Will and Edison, like sought to convey in your characters? Like, how did you become them? And Jeff, you can chime in, like maybe if you want to explain how you describe this to them, or Justin.
I think
Video games. You're both kind of pros, though, so you probably didn't, did you?
I don't know, just the helmet, man. The helmet.
Can you describe the helmet a little bit more? Like, how did it feel your first time wearing it?
I don't know, they have a few different sizes, and my head is kind of small, but the small was a little too small for my head, so it was a little tight. But it was interesting because not only was there someone in like a sound room and in the room, there's someone on the internet watching us doing our thing. So we had like 3 people kind of judging what we were doing, so it was like trying to please everyone at the same time was a little interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, Justin, you look like you're ready.
So the cool thing about this is I think technology has advanced to such a level, and I think that companies have really taken advantage of bringing in actors, and whether it's I don't say some of the names, Emma Stone and Tom Wilkinson, to really create a full performance. So I was a huge fan of Infernal Affairs, and this is probably going to be the closest thing to being inside the movie. So you get the game, you will actually feel it. It's so hard to explain, but it's such an immersive world now. I think with the technology and the types of actors they brought in, it feels like you're part of Infernal Affairs in a weird sort of way.
Now, was it hard voice acting instead of like being on camera, because it's not as physical and interact with other people? Did you find that a hard hurdle, Edison, to just be a voice actor instead of on camera with other people and stuff like that?
I think working with this helmet on my head was a little rough.
Was that a helmet?
We had this helmet that was like mapping our facial expressions. I don't know. I think that doing it in English was really good for me because it's my first language, and I did some dubbing for like some cats and dogs movies and some animation movies, and like I guess that gave me a good warm up for this. It was good when I came in because everyone had already been working on the game for a little while, and I kind of had like a basis to work off of, and just to kind of formulate my character, I kind of took the things that they didn't that he hadn't put in his character to kind of give it like that alter kind of sidekick, that like a more lighthearted, more funny, more kind of goofy kind of dude, because he's like stone cold like killer in the game. So I didn't want the somber, like I wanted the mood to kind of have the ups and downs. So I think that we worked really good together.
That's cool. Do you have any favorite lines from the game that you can remember?
And it was funny because when I was doing the dubbing for the Chinese people in here, actually, I was doing half the dubbing in Chinese, and they didn't understand anything I was saying, and they're just like, "Good, that sounds good." So I hope it's good. You know, like, yeah, they're like, "Good, it was Chinese." I was like, "Oh, great, this is easy." You know.
A few times when we had translators come in because we needed to subtitle all this dialogue, and the translators would come to my desk, or Justin's desk, Steve's desk, and say, "This is what Edison said. Do you realize how many curses he just strung together?"
They told me to. They said that was what we needed.
The North American ratings board has no idea anyways, I swear all you want. I think that
I think it depends on the company that you work for also, that understands that if you bring cinema to the game, it becomes much more of an immersive kind of experience. And honestly, the way that they designed the game and brought the actors in, it felt like we were shooting a movie or doing a play every time we went in. So, and I think, you know, in the past, you're basically, I'm sure they still do it now, you just sit in a booth and you're given a bunch of lines and you're just, you know, told to just say them. And you can't act opposite anybody. I mean, we were spitting at each other, not spitting at each other. We were so into the scenes that you'd see it fly and apologize to each other.
anything to add, Justin?
Yeah, I mean,
I think American audiences will see how crazy Asians are with karaoke.
Did you have to practice a lot for the karaoke? Do you do a lot of karaoke yourself?
But, you know, I mean, I'm Korean, and I think Korean, like, mother and father owns a full professional-sized karaoke machine in their house. So my dad's always like, karaoke! And it's like, we know it's on, and they're gonna be up till 4 a.m. singing by themselves.
Who in here has a karaoke machine? Raise your hand. Does anyone have a karaoke machine at home? Not many. Fair enough.
So there's a karaoke mini game in the game, so you guys can practice.